Thanks so much for coming to your vocab tuto today. I think it's brilliant that you come and see these vocab tutos, because in the classes I don't really have time, we don't have time to really go into a lot of vocabulary, because we're always discussing things or looking at a grammar point or whatever. You know, it always seems to be that this is the difficult thing to squeeze in. So I really love these. Probably my favorite out of all the tutos is doing the vocab. So thanks for coming. So let's have a look. We've got le multimédia. Now, I think this is a really useful one for us to take a look at, because people are always wanting to say, you're always wanting to say, I watched this program on the telly last week, or I recommend this box set or this series. And here's some phrases that you can use to talk about those things. Not just that though. So it's le multimédia, la vidéo, et la hi-fi. Anyone got hi-fi left? J'ai les passionnés de technologie. Il a un beau téléviseur à écran plat et un lecteur graveur de DVD. So Gilles is passionate about technology. So not de la technologie, but de technologie. And he's got a lovely television screen, téléviseur à l'écran plat, so flat screen television, et un lecteur graveur de DVD. You can also have un lecteur de disque, which is a record player as well. So, avec son caméscope, il peut faire des films lui-même. So that's a video record. That's a camera. So camera, une caméra is something that films. A camera which takes photos is un appareil à photo. Un appareil à photo, but most people use their phone now, don't they? Sur sa chaîne hi-fi, so his hi-fi, il écoute des disques compacts, des CD. So he listens to CDs on his hi-fi. I thought this was a recent book. But anyway, maybe they're making a comeback. L'audiovisuel. Frédéric allume la télévision. Notice that that's cut down to télé, la télé. And useful to notice the verbs in here as well. So to turn on the television is allumer. Turn on a light, turn on a washing machine, turn on anything is allumer, which means to light up as well. So a light, allume la pièce. So it's to do with light. So it's something to do with fire, really. Frédéric allume la télévision quand il rentre à la maison. So what does Frederick do? Frederick turns on the television when he comes home. Look at the verb there for coming home. Rentrer, rentrer. It's not retourner. It's not revenir or aller or venir. Lots of people struggle finding that verb. Nice and simple one. You just put an R instead of in front of entrer and you're home, wherever your home happens to be at that time. So it could be a hotel room. Il rentre à la maison. Il regarde le journal télévisé tous les soirs à 20h. So he watches the news every evening at 8 o'clock. So when you see news written quite often for television news, it's le GT, which is the shortened, the JT, is that means news. Ensuite, il choisit entre un documentaire, un reportage, et un téléfilm. So ensuite, that's quite nice. And then he chooses between a documentary or a TV film. Frédéric éteint la télé vers 23h. So we've got allumer for switching things on et éteindre for turning things off. Parfois, il regarde des émissions sur Internet. Parfois, you know that one? Parfois, sometimes. You can say des fois as well, or quelquefois, but parfois or des fois more commonly used actually than quelquefois. He watches programs. That's the word you're looking for programs. And notice there's no lula for internet. It's sur internet, and you pronounce the T in there. Judith préfère la radio. Dans sa voiture, elle écoute des émissions sur différents sujets. So Judith prefers the radio. In her car, she listens to programs again. So we want to say programme, but programme means something different in French. So émission on different subjects. Notice that différent the adjective is on the before the noun. Elle écoute aussi les informations, les nouvelles et la météo. So les informations, les nouvelles, les actualités, all words to say the news. And what do you notice about them? They are plural. Les informations, les nouvelles, and la météo is the weather. Little conversation here between Judith and Frederick. Je n'aime pas la télé. Il y a trop de publicité et peu d'émissions intéressantes. So I don't really like television. Trop, useful word. Too many or too much. Publicité is the full word for adverts. So it's shortened down to pub, les pubs. So when you want to say pub, where do you go? What do you say? You say pub in French. Yeah, so the pub is le pub, and adverts are la publicité. Et peu d'émissions, not many programs, not very many interesting programs. So émission is the noun, intéressante, adjective. Moi, j'adore la télé. Me, I love the télé. Le dimanche, now if you put le in front of dimanche, you're saying every Sunday. Yes, not that one or this one, every Sunday. So le dimanche, je regarde souvent un match et le soir un bon film ou des jeux télévisés. So on Sundays, I often, souvent, watch a match. In the evening, a good film or game shows. We've got a little bit of remarque culturelle. I don't know if you can see this. Il existe des stations de radio publiques. So these are like the equivalent in the UK of the BBC, I guess. So France Info, RFI, France Culture, France Musique. And we use RFI quite a lot for our listening exercises. Et des radios privées, RTL, Radio Classique. I really enjoy RTL. RTL has got a radio which is music, but it's also got a talking one, which is pretty much the equivalent in the UK of Radio 2. So it's quite nice. There's all sorts of repetitive programs on there which follow the same theme. And if you get used to the format of the program, you'll be able to understand them. But give yourself a chance to get used to the format. So that's something worth looking at, RTL. You can download an app on your phone for it. C'est la même chose pour la télévision. Same thing for television. Il existe des chaînes, so channels publics, Arte, France 2, TV5 Monde. And again, Arte is something that I sometimes share with you off of YouTube. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work in America. TV5 Monde we use a lot as well, don't we? Ou privé, TF1, which is where we get our little clips from, and Canal+, which is a paid-for service. Right, la presse écrite, so written press, newspapers. Tous les matins, Alain achète un journal au kiosque à journaux. Il lit surtout les articles sur l'économie et la politique. So tous les matins, every morning, you could say chaque matin if you like. So Alain, he goes, I don't know if these kiosks still exist, do they? But anyway, you know, that's sort of like it's an iconic part of the Parisian landscape, isn't it? So he buys a newspaper at a kiosk and he reads, you know, surtout, especially. So surtout is especially, not unfortunately, especiellement. He reads articles about the economy and politics. Diane, elle achète un magazine féminin chez le marchand de journaux. Elle regarde les publicités et les photos de mode. So Diane buys a magazine, different from magasin, which is a shop of women's magazine, from the seller of newspapers. And she likes to look at the adverts and photos, fashion photos. Lucie est abonnée à une revue de géographie. So une revue is a sort of like a thicker magazine that's sort of like, you know, take you probably a month to read it. Abonné, subscribed to. Elle reçoit cette revue à la maison une fois par mois. So it's posted to her house. Elle a un abonnement pour un an. So she signed up for it for a year. So that's a subscription. Any word ending in ment when it's a noun is masculine. All right, you ready for me to move on to the next page? Is that okay? Yeah, good. Oh, where is it? Oh, it hasn't come out. Oh, right. Oh, I shall read it to you then. Just give me a second. Sorry. Where's it gone? Right. So we're on to informatique. Informatique. So informatique is anything to do with IT, anything to do with technology like that. I'll talk to you like this. L'informatique désigne tout ce qui est en relation avec l'ordinateur. L'ordinateur. So l'ordinateur is your computer, it's masculine. So we've got Samy n'est pas informaticien, mais il travaille toute la journée sur son ordinateur. So Samy isn't an informaticien. Somebody works in IT, but he works all day on his computer. So software, what's the word for software? Have you come across that before? Remember? If I was looking at the sky, where is it? Logiciel, logiciel. Yeah, so logiciel is software. Or you can say, perhaps an easier way of saying it, un programme informatique. Un programme informatique. So if you're using the word programme, you're going to associate it with IT. You're not going to associate it with what you're watching on television. Une connexion Internet. Une connexion Internet, yeah, or le Wi-Fi, le Wi-Fi. Yeah, remember to pronounce it in the French way. And when you're on websites, you don't look at them. What's the verb you use when you're going on websites? Not looking. It's not regarder. It's, do you remember? Come across it before? Consulter. Consulter des sites web. Any reference book. If you were looking at a dictionary of any reference here. Oh, this is very easy for you. Il va bientôt commencer un blog professionnel. So you're going to find a lot of English words, aren't you, in this forum? So un site internet, un site web or website. Or un ordinateur ne marche pas, il est en panne. So un ordinateur ne marche pas, il est en panne. That would mean the computer is not working. Ne marche pas is not working. Il est en panne, broken down. Now, what do you do when technology breaks down? You want to turn it off, yeah, and turn it on again, yeah. So what was the verb we had for turn off? Yes, well done. Éteindre, éteindre, and then you got to turn it on again, which is allumer. Allumer, très bien, which is probably what I needed to do with that thing that I downloaded before. Okay, envoyer les photos et les documents par mail, mail. So, but you can say email as well, par mail, par email, email as well. Actually, funny enough, you'll see émail, which is enamel, which is spelled exactly the same as email, émail on signs. You know those iconic French signs, which are sort of white and blue? Right, they've got émail written on them, which isn't obviously email. Right, so sorry about the technical hitch when I was talking about technology. Obvious. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming to these, and I hope to see you at the next one. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Au revoir.